Hi people, it's me Anja, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a part 2 to my favorite Sapphic book recommendations. I did a part 1 in June, I think. I filmed it in May and I uploaded it in June. And anyway, today is the 1st of October, so rabbit and happy LGBT History Month. And for those who don't know what Sapphic means, Sapphic is woman loving other women, which is an umbrella term and it's not limited to only lesbians. So some of these characters are bisexual, some of these characters are pansexual, some of these characters don't use labels at all, but I say that they are Sapphic because they are a woman loving other women. And also this is not limited to only cisgender women, it's also to obviously transgender women are women, but gender fluid people, NB people, etc, etc. So anyway, let's get this party started. The first book on this list is called Ramona Blue, written by Julie Murphy. This is a YA contemporary book, and it deals with Ramona Blue, who is dealing with sexuality because she's questioning her sexuality because of things, and possibly a new romantic relationship is causing her to question her sexuality because she's certain of 3 things. Her hair is blue, she likes girls, and she's close with her family, and also has family relationships in it. But when a new guy, not really a new guy, but an old friend comes back, she starts to question her sexuality because she thinks maybe she's attracted to boys too, who knows. Anyway, I don't think I'm doing a very good job explaining this book and really selling it, but this book is so good. It's truly my favorite book by Julie Murphy. It's so good. I think I read this book for the first time this year, so I'll link that recent links video in the description below. But yeah, please read Ramona Blue, even though I'm not doing a very good, eloquent job explaining what this story is. The next book on this list is called The Mermaid, the Witch, and the Sea, written by Maggie Tokuda-Hall. This is a YA fantasy and it follows 2 characters, an orphan turned pilot, and what was the synopsis? An Imperial's daughter who's rebellious, and I really liked this book. And their names are Flora and Evelyn, and Flora is gender fluid, which is so cool, and honestly so rare to find in fantasy. I feel like I haven't read I feel like this book was the first one I've read about with a gender fluid character in fantasy. No, I read another one. Mask of Shadows was also gender fluid. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, this book is so good, and I really enjoyed it, and I loved the world building and the plot. The Sapphic relationship was great, but aside from that, the story was just so good. The world building, like I said, is so good. I really like this setting. This is a world that's threaded with magic, which I really enjoy. I love magical worlds. And yeah, again, I don't think I'm doing a fantastic job selling this story, but just know that it's so good. The next book on this list is called Ghostwood Song. This is a YA magical realism book and follows Shady, who's bisexual, and inherits her father's ability to call ghosts from the grave with his fiddle. So that's a fun skill to have. I really enjoyed this book. I love the plot. I really like Shady as a character. Her bisexual representation was done so well, and I just really enjoyed it. The romance in the story was possibly my favorite element of the entire story, which is quite rare because when I was younger I actually did not like enjoying, that's not a sentence. I disliked YA contemporaries when I was younger because I felt like there was too much romance or the romance was unnecessary. So for a while I actually did not read the genre at all. But now, books like this, where the romance was just so spot on and really wonderful, and I was kind of afraid that her bisexuality would not be executed well. I felt like I was skeptical that her sexuality would be one of those things that was told to me but wasn't really shown, and I was so happy that it was shown, and it was not only shown but it was shown in such a wonderful realistic way. And I just really enjoyed it. Of course, I can only speak on her sexuality representation to an extent since I am cishet, but I really enjoyed it, and it was just so good. The next book on this list is called Summer in July, written by Mosier. This is a middle grade contemporary, and it follows two girls. Well, I believe it's only in one perspective, but anyway, it's about two girls who are looking for happiness in a world that seems a little bit cruel. And this book was so good. I really enjoyed the plot, I enjoyed the characters, I really enjoyed their relationship. It's just so cute and lovely. I don't think I read a lot of like middle grade Sapphic books, which is on my part. Obviously I need to read some more, but like sometimes I feel like in middle grade a Sapphic relationship or any sort of like gay relationship is like not as explored or developed as well as it is in YA. Maybe that's just me. Again, I need to diversify my reading as usual, but yeah, this book was just so good. It was really lovely, and I really enjoyed it. And I feel like it's a Sapphic book that most people don't really know that much about. Maybe that's because it's middle grade. Maybe it's because, I don't know. Anyway, the story is really solid, and I'm so sorry if you can hear like people walking around. As per usual, I'm at school, so obviously there are other students walking around doing their daily business. Anyway, this story was really solid and really good. I feel like this was the part of the video where I descend into a little bit more really popular Sapphic books, because the next book on this list is the Falling in Love Montage, written by Ciara Smyth. I actually don't know whether or not it's Ciara Smyth or Ciara Smyth. I've heard it pronounced both ways, and I've never actually heard the author herself say her own name, which is something I should probably research before filming. But anyway, this is a YA contemporary, and it follows Saoirse, who doesn't really believe in happy endings or love at first sight, because if she did, her mom would not have early onset Alzheimer's, until Saoirse meets somebody who might prove her wrong. I really enjoyed this book so much. It was so cute and so fluffy. I was not expecting this book to be worth its hype, because as you know from my recent reads videos, I read like a lot of like really popular hyped up books, and half the time they aren't worth their hype. So I was genuinely surprised when this book was worth its hype, because it's so good. It's just absolutely so good. I love the relationship. It was just so fluffy, and I just really enjoyed it, and I hope that you too will also enjoy it. The next book on this list is called How to Make a Wish, written by Ashely Blake. I really enjoyed this book. This was the first book that I've ever read by Ashely, and it is so good. So it's YA contemporary, and it follows Grace, who kind of has a rocky relationship with her mom, so she kind of wants to lie low until she graduates, until like a new person comes into town who's also grief stricken, and they bond over that. And you know, this girl makes Grace wants to kind of like change her mind about lying low until graduation. This book was so good. As per usual with Ashely Blake's like YA contemporary, this is more of like a hard-hitting YA contemporary than like the previous books. So it was a good book. It was so good. It has a very like hard-hitting like central plot, while also balancing like a fluffy romance. The romance in this book is so good. It is so Sapphic. The main character in this book is also bisexual, which we love, because like I said before, the term Sapphic is not limited to only lesbians. And it was just so good, and I just love it so much. It was just so good, and like Ashely Blake is really an underrated author, and more people should read her books, because her books are so good. I've read all of her books except for Suffer Love, and all of them so far have been excellent. So please read this one. The penultimate book on this list is called Late to the Party. I really love this book so much. It follows Cody, who feels like a wallflower in her typical teenage life, because she's 17 years old and she's never been kissed. She's She's never been to a party. She's never really done any of those typical teenage things until she's swept into an unexpected romance. No, an unexpected summer, which she finds an unexpected romance. And the romance is the Sapphic element of this story. This book is so good. I love it so much because, like, being a wallflower as a teenager is something that, like, I can relate to, and this is a book that I wish that I had read when I was 17 or even younger than that, you know? Like, this is a book that I wanted to read for my younger self. This story is so good. I love it so much. Cody is such a realistic character. Her, like, story arc was so good. I love her dynamic with her friends. It's just so solid. The platonic relationships in this book are just as solid as the romantic relationships, which I love so much, because sometimes with, like, a romance-driven contemporary, the romance is, like, way more developed than the friendships. But I love that, like, the author was a good balancer. That's not what I mean. She did a good job of balancing the two. As you know, I'm not very eloquent or articulate in this video at all, but it works, okay? This story is so good, and it's truly one of my favorite books of 2020. So please read it. The last book on this list is called The Last True Poets of the Sea, written by Julia Drake. This is also more of a hard-hitting YA contemporary, like How to Make a Wish. In that scenario, I think How to Make a Wish and this book are the two more hard-hitting YA contemporaries. In this list, I feel like all of the other books that I've promoted are a little bit more fluffy. Anyway, this story is so good. It deals with sibling relationships, a sapphic romance, a really nice setting. The main character of the story is so resilient and wonderful. And I know I mentioned this book in If You Like This, Read This video. And I compared it to, what did I compare it to? Words in Deep Blue, and that is true because of the sibling relationships and the nice, like, atmospheric setting. But also, this book reminds me of Summer of Salt. So basically, if you enjoyed Summer of Salt and Words in Deep Blue, you should read this book. Or if you read this book, you should read Words in Deep Blue and Summer of Salt. Anyway, this story is so good. I wish that I had read this story when everybody else had read it. And again, it's another book that it's worth all of its hype and so much more. Like, this book is so underhyped. Well, it's not that underhyped, but it deserves more hyped, you know? This book is so good. So please read it. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, happy LGBT History Month. I will be doing a lot more applied book recommendation videos for you guys, which I am so excited for. So, yay. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below your favorite Sapphic book recommendations. Like I said before, this is a part 2, so I'll be leaving down below part 1, and also all the recent reads videos in which I've mentioned any of these books previously, because I think I read 7 of these books this year, so at least 7 other videos will be in the description below, I think. I don't really know. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below your favorite Sapphic books, and thanks for watching, and subscribe if you're new. Bye! See you next time.